There are two bridge scenes in Conker's Bad Fur Day. First, we have the gargoyle on the bridge at the beginning of the game. Then there's the scene where the two guards prevent her from moving towards prehistory, towards Ooga Booga, and Conker tells them that actually he's an elephant, and therefore they allow him to go through. Now, big grey floppy ears. Now, I feel that there are there's a parallel between these two bridge scenes. First, in the second scene, one of the guards is behind a rock because he's got diarrhea or something. So he's constantly behind the rock, and yet you can hear a voice emanating from it. The way it's shot makes it seem as if he is literally a rock on the bridge. Now, obviously, in the first bridge scene, we have literally a rock on the bridge, because it's a gargoyle. A gargoyle with huge ears, or huge sort of horns, like the way they define the elephant, as being grey and with big ears. Grey also being the colour of rock. So, the guard is behind the rock pooping, and he clearly, there's a problem there. There's like an obstacle he has to pass through regarding his butt and pooping. Now, the gargoyle says that he's been sitting on a spike all of his life, and finally he's comfortable, finally he's on the bridge. So, in both cases, there had been a prolonged period of some sort of anal discomfort, which is suddenly released, and that at that moment Conker arrives and is allowed to pass through, or gets through in some way or another. So this sort of could connect to the whole thing I think I mentioned in the other Conker videos about how this theme seems to undergo a three-state, it seems to echo the passage of poop. So the appearance of poop in the game, apart from the big poop mountain and everything, the way it seems to work, at least from how I read the game, is that you encounter the bull, and there's that whole scene with the cows where you feed them berries, I think, and they get diarrhea and start pooping into this hole. And then at the end, the bull falls into the hole of poop. So at the beginning of the game, poop is liquid. But then it seems as if those cows are there to provide poop for the beetles, or to provide poop for the poop mountain. So you could say that the Great Mighty Poo is an emanation of that. It's like the second stage. So you go from diarrhea to the sort of slightly harder poop, with the Great Mighty Poo representing also the king. So the beginning of, in a symbolic sense, the beginning of repression, of anal repression, as wanting to hoard power. And then the third stage I would read to be the rock solid people, where there's this double game with rock solid also meaning erection, but also could mean constipation itself. So it's like the three stages. The poop is getting harder till it's complete constipation, and therefore complete repression. Which is interesting, since rock solid, the whole Ooga Booga stage is prehistory, so it's the past, which is where repression is usually stored, and that's where Conker goes to solve the issue. So the beginning Of course, here several scenes are starting to echo each other. The bull with its horns is similar to the gargoyle too, or to the ram, and the bull falls down into the poop. The gargoyle falls down into the river. Both sort of their power is overthrown and they fall down. Now, the second guard, as I said, is pooping behind the rock, and yet the bridge is the bridge leading to Ooga Booga, to the land of the rock-solid people.